Over the past couple of years, I've posted a lot of info on the TC Electronic Plethora X5 and then the X3, but all of this info is spread out over a whole bunch of videos. So there are a few questions that I still see asked all the time, so I think it's time to do a quick plethora of frequently asked questions. As a caveat, this video is being recorded in late March 2023, and the current firmware version is 1.3.11 for both the X3 and the X5. So if you're still using an older firmware version, you can update it following these instructions. And if you are from the future and there's a new firmware version out, some of this stuff might be out of date, some might not, who knows. With that said, let's start with frequently asked question number 1, i.e. the elephant in the room. Does the Plethora support MIDI clock? Nope, not as of March 2023 firmware 1.3.11. TC Electronic are aware that this is high on user requests, but it's all I know about it at this point in time. Again, if you're from the future and the Plethora now supports MIDI clock, leave us a comment below and let us know all about it. Number 2, do the Plethoras have analog dry-through, i.e. do they carry your analog sound from the input to the output and mix the effects on top? Nope, everything goes through the analog to digital converters, and this happens twice if you're using the Plethora X5's effects loop. Does it screw up your sound? Not to my ears. Some people might be able to hear it, I can't. And what about latency? Well, the pedantical response is yes, there is latency, in as far as every conversion implies latency. But in the Plethora's case, is not enough for me to notice. At some point, I might measure it, just to claim those pedantic brownie points, but again, not enough for me to notice in a normal situation. And on a related question, do the Plethoras have true bypass? Yeah, they do, but you have to activate it. So you go to Edit Mode, Settings, Global, Product Settings, Bypass Type. And you have 3 options: buffered with trails, buffered no trails, and true bypass. So you need to activate true bypass. But just because you activated it, it doesn't mean that it is in true bypass, because of the effects loop. And I will demo this for you like such. I have a microphone just off camera that is going to capture the relay clicking. I have 3 effects, or rather 2 effects and the effects loop. Everything is off, so now it is in true bypass. If I press one of the effects on, listen to it. That click, that's the relays. I'm going to click it off again. True bypass. Effects loop. If I have the control of my effects loop on a slot, that was true bypass. Now it's going through the effects loop and coming back, so it's not in bypass. It can't be, because otherwise it wouldn't have the effects loop. And back to true bypass. On the other hand, if you have a normal board in which your effects loop is controlled by the board effects loop insert, as this one is, to insert 3, i.e. the effects loop is here, but you can't tap it in and out. Even with all the effects off, your true bypass is not off. And I'm going to demo it for you in this way. I'm going to pull out the jacks, and did you see this disappear here, the icon? I'm going to try and be as quiet as I can with the cable, but listen to the relay. See? Auto sensing jack. The moment it detects that there's something on the effects loop, it comes out of true bypass. Hope that answers the question. And moving on to user interface related questions. How do I turn on the triple tap access to the tuner? You pop into Edit Mode, you come to Settings, you come to Global, Product Settings, scroll down to FSW Activate Tuner. It can either be off or triple tap foot switch 5. So you activate this one, go to play, and now you do this and you're in the tuner. Related question, how do you turn on the triple tap to change boards? Because otherwise you'll have to do that funny thing of, okay, it doesn't do anything. Back to Edit Mode, Settings, Global, Product Settings, roughly the same spot, but now it says FSW Board, and you can either be off, or you can do with pressing 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 at the same time, or triple tapping foot switches 1 and 2. And now, once you do the first tap, the first triple tap settle, it's in board changing mode, and now you just need to tap once per board that you want to change. Question number 6, how can I reorganize the boards on the plethora? Well, you're going to need to connect it to a TonePrint editor, phone, iPad, computer, whatever. I have it plugged into a MacBook Air. I've plugged in the USB cable, flicked this to edit mode, and as you can see, I have to come to the boards tab on the menu, which is down here, and now you can just grab the name and move it around. And as you can see, the plethora screen is confirming that you are indeed moving stuff around. Related question, how can I rename boards? Well, press those 3 dots, or on the mobile apps you just swipe to the left and you press rename, and you can just rename, done. It confirms that it's done. Question number 8, can I activate the tuner with a MIDI control? Nope, not at this point. And again, this is March 2023, firmware 1.3.11. Maybe in the future you can, right now you can't. Number 9, can you set the switches to be momentary instead of latching? No, but you can create a workaround using the mash switches, linking the effect level to the mash pressure. Let me know if you need me to create a video for that. Question number 10. This isn't necessarily specific to the plethora, it's a TonePrint ecosystem thing, but it keeps being asked, so the question is, help, my parameters reset when I save a TonePrint. That's not exactly what happens. What happens in a nutshell is when you load a TonePrint, which is the thing that happens the moment right after you save it to any pedal, it reloads, the pedal will do a scan of the position of the potentiometers. So it'll scan them, it'll read the positions, and any parameters that are linked to those potentiometers, in this case I've got a reverb here, I've got a decay, tone and effects level on each of the potentiometers. When I load the TonePrint, these parameters are going to be read from the position of the pots and according to the mapping that is defined on the TonePrint itself. For instance, if I load another one, you see that there's a change because they are mapped differently. This will happen independently of the values that you've set for the specific parameters when you saved your TonePrint, and this is especially noticeable when you're editing on the app without using the pots. So you use this, use that, blah blah blah, and then when you save the TonePrint, everything's different. So that's exactly what's happening. Your TonePrint is reading your values off the pedal when it starts. So I can have all of my pots like this just because, and edit my TonePrint to have 5 seconds reverb with an effects level of -3 dB, whatever. The moment I save it, it's going to come up with all of these values here because of the position of the pots. The workaround for this, if you want a TonePrint that always loads with the correct values, you can either unlink the parameters from the pots, which I don't recommend, or you can just create flat mappings. Actually, here's a link to a video where I show you how to work mappings to your advantage to create presets on pedals that don't have them. Go watch it. Question number 11. Can I connect via Bluetooth to a desktop or laptop computer? Nope, mobile platforms only. And question number 12. Can I see the tempo readouts in BPM in edit mode? Nope, the BPM display is only available in play mode when your switch is set to tap tempo. When you're in edit mode, you are always in milliseconds. Flip to play mode and you have BPM. If you have set your switch to tap tempo here in settings, oops, sorry, not a global setting, board, second foot switch function, delay. In my case, I have it set to tap tempo, because if I set it to mash, then the readout disappears. And that's it for this video. If you have any more plethora questions, can't English today, sorry. If you have any more plethora questions you'd like to see answered, just pop them down in the comments. I'll try to get them at some point. And as always, thank you to everybody who keeps supporting me on Ko-fi or clicking the affiliate links on the videos. That really helps. And I'll see you next time.